Welcome to Why Follow the Herd. I'm your host, Debbie Clement-Large. If you could ask yourself one important question right now, what would it be? Find out with a question in just a moment. So that all-important question, that one question, what could you ask yourself? That question at the moment, in this month that I am thinking of as a month of possibilities, the question is, if you could lift the lid on all the expectations that are placed upon you or you feel are placed upon you, who and what would you be? What would you want to let go of? Who would you want to become? What would you want to have more of in your life? That's a huge question. And it's a wonderful question. And actually, when we're young, we often have an idea, maybe, of what we'd like to do and who we are. And then as we grow, we sort of conform. We label ourselves as a partner, as a husband, or as a wife, or as a parent. We label ourselves as an owner of a dog, owner of assets like a car, owner of a house. We label ourselves as someone who has a mortgage, or someone who rents, or someone who is debt-free, someone who has debt. We label ourselves all the time. And when we label ourselves, we can find that we live in with that expectation of who and what we believe ourselves to be, maybe in conjunction with that label. So it can hold us back from doing what we really want. We can feel stuck in unfulfilling jobs. We can feel stuck with partners that we don't want to be with. We can feel stuck with debt that we don't want. So if you could lift the lid on all those expectations, who would you be? What would you be doing? Who would you be with? That's a fascinating question to ask ourselves. And there is a wonderful process, a visioning process that I learned as part of my spiritual psychology training. And what that process really did was to help me to establish all the things that I'd done for the sake of doing it. It helped me to realize that I placed a lot of expectations upon myself or maybe society had. I'd been conditioned. Well, we're all conditioned. We're conditioned on who we are as people, how we fit into our families, how we fit into society. And through that conditioning, we can study for the wrong jobs. We can find ourselves the wrong partners. We can live a life which really isn't completely fulfilling to us. I did that in the place of work. I studied for 6 years for a job that really wasn't fulfilling to me in any way. There were some nice people, there were elements that were nice, but there was a heck of a lot of it which wasn't really me. And yet I realized that when I was studying it, but I still kept going anyway. I felt a sense of obligation that once I'd started, I needed to carry on and to finish it. So if I'd let that go earlier, maybe I could have established my vision of the future, something that was true for me. So if you could lift the lid on all those expectations, who and what would you be? What would you be doing now? If you want to find out more about visioning, you can check that out on my website. But even just ask yourself the questions. How do I know what is right for me? How do I know under all those layers of beliefs that I've taken on board, the beliefs of who I think I am and who I ought to be, but really come back to, what do I want? What do I really, really want? What is for my good? And how can I incorporate that into my life? Living a fulfilling life is something that we all want. And yet there are so many that get to the end of their life and look back and think, I wish I'd done things differently. There's a good book which Bronnie Ware wrote called The 5 Top Regrets of the Dying. I think that's what it's called. And in one of those regrets is actually not living a life in alignment with yourself. But we get so conditioned out of knowing what that is. This is why things like the process of visioning is really good, or even just coming back and asking ourselves and getting in touch with ourselves by asking ourselves the questions around, if I could lift the lid, what would I be? Who would I want? So spend some time, find out about visioning. I'm doing a workshop soon. Find out, give yourself some space around connection with yourself, asking yourself some questions, really feeling what life means for you. What does being fulfilled mean for you? How does that show up? Remember, there are 4 different areas of life. We have health, we have relationships, we have work, and we have financial prosperity. They're the 4 main areas. And we want to have a fulfilling life in all of those areas in the right way that we can. So enjoy exploring how you can envision and bring about and create more of what you do want and less of what you don't. Enjoy that exploration. Have fun with it. Know that nothing is perfect and that we have choice in each moment on how we want to see life, how we want to see ourselves, and how we want the next part of our life to unfold. So enjoy thinking about that question, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. But leave a comment. Love to know how you are exploring this question. I'd love you to like it, to share it, and subscribe so that we can share some more stuff together. Take care. See you soon.